I mean, like the handle and the footwork and the ability to finish.
His dad nicknamed the Catapult. Mike, he uses that same motion to this day. You can watch him out there tonight. You'll see how he leverages the power from his body.
I want to talk about some aesthetics. James Harden definitely had a pregame meal, averaging 17 points per game over the last 4.
Best case scenario if you're Steve Nash.
Kyrie and KD, good friends long before.
Oh, wow. The Durantula just threw it down over Bertans.
Green secures it. A chance for the Nets to take the lead. James Harden for 3. Oh, he's got it. James Harden with a big 3-point.
Like, this is just, I mean, that's just beautiful. And this one, looking up, that is thrown right on target.
Kyrie, if they try and bring up a pick and roll, so watch for Kyrie going one-on-one.
Irving, connection made. It's a 3.
Sorry, the game is predictable at times.
Shot clock turned off. Durant drives, trips it up. Shot no good, but a foul. As the entire Nets organization goes to help him up.
Appropriately so. Just climbing up the ranks of all-time scorers in NBA history. Watch how easy he makes this. He's taking some contact. He knows exactly when to get into that shooting.
Playing some of his best ball. 24 points now for Randall. Joe Harris quickly fell down.
For Brooklyn now. Blake Griffin at the 5 to begin the 4th. Griffin on the move. Flushes it down. There's the dunk. The wait is over. Blake Griffin's first basket as a Net is his first dunk. Needs some help now. Finds it in Durant with 6 to shoot. Durant crosses over. Oh, the zig, the zag, and the flush. But it's going to be an offensive foul negating the bucket as Jordan was called for the off-the-ball screen.
Oh, look at this play. I mean, the cross, and he had Hachimura a foot from.
And we were talking about, Con Sexton. That's the growth that you're going to see. He understands that Brooklyn Nets team was going to come out and key in on that. Kyrie Irving, who had 38 tonight and 5 assists and only had 2 turnovers, was going to go at him, really set the tone. But
definitely getting a little sloppy, but here he just went in the bag on this one with Smart, and again, not bad defense, just great offense.
I mean, first let's just look at the handles, and this is something we become so numb to watching with him, and it is a thing of beauty. And then gets the ball back. Watch how much ground he covers. The step back through the legs, buckets. Way to finish that high.
That's Hubbard in the front court. Irving looking to fire a 3. Instead, trying to lay it up and off.
Approaching 8 minutes to go in the 4th. Still plenty of time in this game. That still with work to do as James Harden with the lob to Blake Griffin as he stares down the Pistons bench.
The ball, the paint, react out, cover the line.
Thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you.
Mike.
It's just absolutely filthy. Through 4 players, right in stride, the eyes, the overhead. Look at that. I mean, James Harden makes it.
Comes up short. Harris running start. Nice feet ahead, and Kyrie Irving throws it down. The lead is 11. Timeout, LA.
I don't know how much longer we question the Nets defensively, because they're finding a way to get it done. And playing solid defense against a team that challenges you with the weapons that the Clippers have. Off of that quality defense, you get high percentage transition, easy hoops. How about the finish by Kyrie?
On the reverse. Harden on a lead feed. Irving gets to the rim. Oh, beautiful. Down the road, non-regular season.
Chris Beck, NBC New York.
Kevin, there was one stretch in the fourth from 99 to 120 points where it was Durant, Kyrie, Harden, Durant, Durant. Is that what you envision when the three of you were assembled?
Yep. I mean, you got guys that can do multiple things on the floor late in the games. I mean, any coach in America wants the ball in their best players' hands. And I think, we got three guys that are unselfish, that know how to play. And I think we made the right plays down the stretch, especially Kyrie and James controlling the ball. And, I felt like, when those guys got it out top, they got the defense at their mercy. So, we got to continue to, be on the same page late in the games.
Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Kevin.
Chris Paul picks up his dribble. Now he gets it back with some help from Bridges. Paul leans in. At pass stolen by Griffin. Griffin the other way.
Oh, this is a guy who used to jump over cars. Nice cut through the lane, opportunistic, and leaves no doubt Mr. Griffin in the house.
2 minutes of action. Lillard, he's got the mismatch with Griffin. Lillard, step back three, off the mark. Rebounded by Harden. Ahead, running the floor. Griffin lays it in. James Harden, pinpoint pass to Blake Griffin for the touchdown. Timeout. Blazers, 60 points in the paint. The Nets putting on an offensive show in the Pacific Northwest. Fans crossing the line. Somebody tossed a water bottle and it nearly hit Kyrie as he was walking to the tunnel. Tyler Johnson noticed it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's unfortunate that this season even has to be asked, but someone tried to toss a water bottle at Kyrie, or did toss a water bottle at Kyrie as you guys were walking off the floor. Just your thoughts on just, again, an unfortunate act, and the fan was arrested, but just what can be done about, again, protecting players in situations like this?
I mean, fans got to grow up at some point. I know that being in the house for a year and a half with the pandemic, got a lot of people on edge, got a lot of people stressed out. But when you come to these games, you got to realize, man, these men are human. We not animals. We not in a circus. You coming to the game is not all about you as a fan. So have some respect for the game, have some respect for these human beings, and have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at basketball players or spitting on players or tossing popcorn. So grow the up and enjoy the game. It's bigger than you.
5 seconds. Durant, good night, a three. Of COVID protocols. Wow, Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan sharing a moment, and we understand why. DeMar's dad, Frank, passed away February the 19th, so all of our thoughts are with him. So Ken Birch has come in, and he's made some things happen. 7 points. Harden, the Euro for two. The Beard going to the basket. Kyrie, step back, Jay, major highlight, Kyrie Irving.
And it's amazing because he's shooting under 30% from three on the season. It's not like he has been lights out shooting.
James Harden, want to talk about lights out, a step back tray for the Beard.
Players that move so well off the ball. So you're surrounded by shooters. You got guys that can play in the pick and roll, slashers. You got bigs that can roll.
Harden, bottom from downtown.
Pace from what we've seen out of his shot selection.
Harris draws the assignment on Gallinari. Missed it from the outside. James Harden has made his first 2 3-point attempts. This time he's going to drive, slicing to the rim, and he lays it in.
Makes it look so easy.
Lead by 2. Are they riding Harden right now? The answer, yes! James Harden, a deep shot.
Kyrie Irving dancing from the bench. Everyone's getting excited about it. This is what you like to see. Sharing the rock, sharing the wealth. And in terms of James Harden, we know that he is buckets. Step back 3-point shot. Now squaring up against Kevin Huerter, does it again from the top of the key. Yeah, he can get you every which way. The lay-in. Let's get one more from D. Looking good so far for the net.
Available for or on a roster, 95%. And his minutes per game, if you take him off the floor, he can't stand it. Like availability, I love it.
He's got the ball on a string, but take a look at this one, just how he continues to work Thybulle. Whew! Pretty spin, makes it
at the starting point guard position. John Wall's been talking to anyone that walks on by from Brooklyn, Jeff Green, Kyrie Irving included.
Should we go and review that? Should we review that for 10 minutes?
It's a play on, and it's a slam! Claxton! Blondes have more fun.
2 minutes. Only one, though. You the point guard, you the shooting guard. Y'all talked about this. You the shooting guard, y'all talked about this. Short.
Next to James Harden, and it has worked out nicely. Beal couldn't get around Griffin. The rejection from Blake Griffin.
Horton Tucker, along with Harrell, James, Kuzma all on the floor for the Lakers. Irving, the only starter on the floor right now for the Nets, with the illegal D, defensive 3-second, and so we will have Lawaru Cabarro, DeAndre Jordan, Tyler Johnson.
Final seconds. Harris to Griffin at the horn. He's got it. Blake Griffin, a 3 at the buzzer. It came down to the last possible moment. And he held the
South Carolina AU squad there. Kyrie Irving. That's not even fair. In his bag like the fries were at the bottom. Wow, Kyrie.
We'll see what the Nets can serve up on this possession. Jeff Green hounded by Sabonis, trying to get it to Harden, and he does. 7 seconds to work with. Harden on Brogdon. Hypnotizing dribble. Step through, contact, no call. Push shot, falls! Wow! James Harden. Kid Kyrie is all of us.
So it is a double technical.
Well, they got into it, or Schroeder was upset with what he thought was the referee not calling fouls on Irving in one-on-one situation.
And Kyrie Irving is thrown out.
Yep. Irving thrown out. He continued his conversation, but was walking away. Schroeder's happy with it. And now somebody else has been thrown out.
Dennis Schroeder looks like he's been thrown out.
Wow. Here we're talking about the 2 point guards who had sensational first half. They're both gone now. Irving's upset with the officials as well. Well, Irving losing his composure. Obviously on a game they need him. No James Harden. And Irving is done for the night. 21 minutes, 18 points. And Schroeder apparently done as well. 19 points.
Harris does. 1 second left. Harris gets it off and hits. That's how you make up for the foul.
Quickly for Harden.
I did see that movie.
Oh, you did?
A couple times.
Reese Witherspoon. Oh, the jumper goes.
Went forward. If you watch it in real slow motion.
They're challenging it.
Challenge because Sexton goes for the reach. He goes for the steal as Kyrie's driving. Kyrie's not using that elbow or arm to get space, right? If I just throw my face into your elbow as you're going forward, that's a defensive foul.
To your point, Richard, it's about the extension. The extension of the arm is normally what picks it up. We'll see if it's enough for the overturn. Watch the left. Oh.
See, look, he goes for the reach. Oh. Yeah, like I said before, Kyrie definitely elbowed him in the face.
Slow-mo makes a big difference.
Oh, this is a heartbreaker.
A tough 2 possessions, though, because Sexton, as you
Well, thank you, and that's why you have the playoff feel, because these two teams will do it again. Oh, that's...
Don't hurt him, DeAndre.
That's a rough piggyback ride. That is 265 pounds.
Be careful with the big man.
How long you were out and how little experience you have coming back from lengthy layoffs. Are you surprised at how quickly it kind of came back to you and you were back in the flow of things?
Not really, not to like brag or anything, but I'm really good at this game. You know, I study the game. I'm very unselfish. I take the game and I play it the right way every single night. So I don't try to do anything that I can't do or anything that doesn't benefit our team. And if that mindset right there keeps me in a really good place.
Off the Jordan screen, now it'll work on Plumlee. 10 on the shot clock. Splits the defense. The push shot's good.
Oh, what a fake. Kyrie!
Just as a fan watching the game, it just looked like there was so many out of kilter, out of sync shots by Milwaukee and a lot of rhythm jumpers by Brooklyn.
Straight panic. The Bucks have straight panic. They getting punched in the mouth, have no answers. They are in shock right now, and they should be embarrassed. Not only should they be embarrassed, it's like, yo, man, we're supposed to, we're playing for the championship. They're not playing with energy, effort. It's like anybody who's open, just shoot it. They have no game plan. They should just be flat out embarrassed. I mean, we got food. We thought there was going to be a good series, and it may turn to be. But these first two games,
I was hoping that you were going to add that, and it may turn out. It may turn,
but the first two games, if you tell me, like, yo, man, these guys don't have James Harden, and y'all are down 27 points, this is ridiculous, plain and simple.
Points in the paint, by the way, in the first half, dead even after Milwaukee had a huge advantage in game one. Rebounds are also even. Milwaukee had a huge advantage of that in game one. And again, threes, they're just 5 out of 14.
Finished by Kyrie Irving. I say this, taking the defense to church. Make him throw his hands up, and then you finish. Doesn't even see the rim. The ability to hang in the air and find the answer, the solution to the problem.
This team, there's only one basketball. These guys understand how to play with one another and how to win. As another three here by the Brooklyn Nets. KD is loving this on the sideline. 13.
The players continue to arrive here in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. He's 3-0 as a captain. Is LeBron James. And
raindrops will fall.
It's not raining, was it? It is the most beautiful day in the world.
This is the defining moment of this Bucks team. This is the defining moment, in my opinion. There's no way, if like Shaq said, unless Joe Harris, Mike James, and Blake are diving all over the place, but it don't matter. They don't have enough talent to beat the Bucks team. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I get together and say, guys, this is our moment. As long as they don't outwork us, they can't beat us because they can't score enough points. And if the Milwaukee Bucks lose this series without James Harden for the entire series, now no Kyrie, this will be one of the biggest choke jobs in basketball history. History.
Wow. History.
Yes, for history.
I'm with you on that, Chuck.
I'm serious. If to play the entire series without James and be 2-2 and no James and Kyrie, if you can't beat these guys 2 out of 3 games, this will be one of the biggest choke jobs in NBA history.
Game 5 tomorrow night, right here, TNT.
Nets number 2 in the East at 24-13. Beautiful day for a walk here in Atlanta. And Kyrie with the walking stick.
We got to get the
welcome to Atlanta.
Lowry start to recognize when he has a matchup.
Yep.
If he's got a big guy standing on the perimeter, take him off the dribble. You got a small guy, run him in the post and say, get me the ball now.
Boy, Arcidiacono worked very hard on that possession.
Initiate that possession, and then he's rocking you to sleep, surveying the give and go, but then to give back. It's a chemistry. fit in nicely for this team.
Irving, oh my goodness. Kyrie Irving, that was just absolutely absurd.
It had something to do with it. But Skip, when you throw a water bottle from that distance, you know that thing would have really hurt Kyrie if it would have hit him. And he came very, very, very close to hitting Kyrie in his face. And who knows, from that distance, you might have put his eye out. You remember Orlando Brown lost the sight in his eye with a beanbag from closer distance.
Yep.
Orlando Brown Sr.
He did.
Skip, I just don't.
To get some guys to run and see some combinations tonight. Durant's out with a hamstring injury. Kyrie went for 40 last night against Sacramento.
They've had some difficulty.
Here's Irving, one-on-one. Oh, what a fake over Osman. Book it. Ooh. Nice. Ooh. Cutter.
Play the point, I'll play the two guard. And they're interchangeable, Reggie, as you were talking about then. Oh.
And back comes Irving. Dinwiddie pops it back the other way. Durant with the step.
If Brooklyn plays this way and moves the ball, they will be a problem to guard on the offensive end.
Timeout is called. Kevin Durant off the red-hot start. 10 points on 4 of 6.
12 seconds right there.
Did you? I could almost feel the mental counts going.
Yeah.
2-possession game. And there's Drew Holiday with the strip.
3 years ago, 28 games.
Well can't get it to go. And the Nets come away with it. It has been a dramatic turnaround, Bruce. Griffin. Ooh, beautiful pass. Tyler Johnson in the corner. Completes the play with the trifecta.
This pass. I mean, look at right through the arms. Sees Tyler Johnson. The entire defense thought he was kicking back out to the wing.
A lot of people have questions. But yeah, I am taking part in Ramadan with a lot of my brothers and sisters, my Muslim brothers and sisters. And it's been an adjustment. That's really what I can say. Just being committed to my service, to God, Allah, and then continuing on with whatever I'm guided with. So, just happy to be part of my community and doing the right things. So fasting is definitely part of it. Obviously, if you know anything about the Muslim community. But yeah, I'm just really blessed and grateful to be taking part in this.
Assistant coach and, of course, Steve Nash. And Steve Kerr was general manager of that team.
I'll tell you what, and many feel like that Phoenix team with that staff and the one before with Nash could have won a championship very easily, and so they got the band back together.
In an elimination game against the Suns, I kind of expected more from him, didn't you? I think they call people like you bronze-sexuals. No, LeBron Stan is fine. I think you put that. No, LeBron Stan is fine. Okay, got it.
Teams like having the runway. Here's Irving with 11 seconds left. Down 1. Irving, 7 seconds left. Irving a 3. No. Back tap. Durant will have a chance here. His jumper won't go. That's it. Irving and Durant miss clean looks. And
Batum called the best passer for the Clippers. Leonard drives, goes inside, lays it up, and an offensive foul is called.
And they don't have a challenge yet left because they took their challenge on the Beverly screen.
Kyrie, Kawhi Leonard unaware, asking them to challenge, unaware that they don't have the challenge.
Yep.
No. Nope. Nope, Mike.
Don't like
you
the
can
call.
say yep all you want. This is NBA basketball.
You don't think on that one?
No James Harden, no Kevin Durant. Irving, insane.
Excellent job getting it to the second man. And Durant hitting his head because of missing that layup. And James Harden already telling him. Keep
Gordon. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Irving kept his dribble alive. And another.
Take a look at the three-point shooting. Could add to the low-scoring affair here from the side of the Nets.
Oh, crossover, Kyrie Irving.
Remember that. Green, slam down. Old school Blake.
Halftime, we were sitting there, we're like, should James be out there? Yeah. Like, should he not play the second half? But I think when you look at what he really brought tonight, he was another ball handler. He was another threat. Even if he's not making shots, you're worried that he might. And it just takes something off of Kevin Durant. We knew they were going to go to Kevin Durant all night, and he was amazing. But just having someone else out there who could orchestrate, who could put them in their sets, who could see the mismatches. I mean, for him to gut out 47 minutes when he hasn't, I mean, who knows what he's done in the last 2 weeks? Who knows?
Got a bad hamstring, can't run.
To come out and play that many minutes in a playoff game, and they were targeting him, right? It's not like he was just dribbling up the court and making passes. Like, he was playing both ends of the court. Heroic performance by him as well.
Physical and mental toughness, man, for James Harden.
He's going to be sore tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Got a few fans in the building in Brooklyn tonight as the NBA continues to open up its respective arenas. And Kyrie, a favorite amongst the fans in the building, gets the end.
Jumping off either foot. Look how he contorts his body here to get.
As well. Your brother, Kyrie Irving, joins the 50-40-90 club, the 9th NBA member of that club. What's impressed you most about the way 11 has played this season?
Well, his work ethic, you know, how he cares about his teammates, how he approaches the game every single day is the reason why he can go out there and do something so remarkable. It's 50-40-90, and we almost expect that from Kyrie, and that shows how great he is. And, you know, so welcome to the club.
By Durant. Nets running the floor hard. Durant, the bounce, leads Irving. Oh, the English! He put it high off the window. Kyrie Irving.
That's just nasty.
Harden, jab, jumper. Tapped out volleyball style, and the Nets will control it. Irving off balance, cans it from long range. The setup by Joe Harris. Everything is going down for Brooklyn.
Of that. Irving spins on the baseline, elevates, and caught one on.
Offensive end. I mean, look at this. Kevin Durant off the glass and Kyrie Irving off his seat, grabbing his head. Oh, look at that. And this time, the top of the key. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Be that, but you need to be that aggressive because you're that hard to stop.
Bucks by 1, 45 seconds left in regulation. Harden open for three. Rebounded by Harden. Finds Durant for three. Yes. So the Nets lead.
I'll tell you this, you know, on a night where you don't have two of your big three, what did Steve Nash say to Lisa? That could have been an offensive foul. Joel Embiid just bullied Jeff Green. My goodness.
Jeff Green's a strong guy. He just didn't stand a chance in there. As DeAndre Jordan picks up his first.
This is 7 foot, 230 pounds, just discarding this guy like he's nothing. I think,
Jeff Green's 240 pounds.
All right, thinking it's going to be an offensive foul.
7-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Dotson loses it, walking the tightrope. Oh, Blake Griffin, razzle dazzle. Oh, next level. Kevin Durant, the rack attack, and one of the highlights of the year.
be the play of the year in the regular season finale. Razzle-dazzle flavor and bring in the spice. Oh, this is just too good. Astonishing. The bop, the power. Uh-oh, get ready. Playoffs are coming.
See a little bit more of that in Game 3, posting up Lopez, who was a mismatch nightmare for the Nets.
Here's Irving with a standing three.
I don't know how you guard him. I mean, you get up on him, he goes by you. You give him space, he can really shoot contested shots as well as anyone, just unguardable.
Here's Kyrie again, this time on the move, hits the three. So he does it in a number of ways. Kyrie Irving with his fourth three, 22 points. Timeout call by the Bucks.
They just never went small.
I really don't care. I mean, what they did, they wanted to stick to their guns, so we just had to make them pay.
On, really heated up, and what a performance by the Raptors. Got better as the night went on.
Irving, the acceleration. How did he do it?
Tested as this Nets defense has stepped up.
Brown gets inside. Again, you see that hustle by Griffin. He's on the floor, and it's a jump ball. So that's the second jump ball that he has been able to come up with. What a first half for Blake Griffin. 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
And he's hustling, scrappy, getting dirty. Understands that the ball, every possession matters. And that kind of energy, that kind of play can certainly ignite his teammates and this crowd.
Champion with the Golden State Warriors. Here's Portis moving on Durant, who got a piece of it. Durant is also Portis. Good hustle by Irving, trying to break it up. Holiday able to maintain, not able to bank it home. Here come the Bucks right back. Holiday with the lead, intended for Portis. Lost it. Everton is 0 for 5 here at the start. Irving with another move, and is able to hit from long range.
And when guarding Kyrie Irving, you better have your ankles taped, because he is so good at getting a shot.
And embarrassing. I think all those words do fit, but let's see what happens here. Still a long way to go.
And for once, I agree with Charles.
Yes. Net ball as we get underway. Here's Harris from straight away for 3. Yeah.
But now the Bucks, to get back in, they're going to have to get some stops and get out in transition, get some easy points.
That's 19 points for Lopez. Here's Harris for 3.
Giannis out top. Spins, got ripped by Harden. You saw the fact that he had no burst. He couldn't get away. That usually is a transition layup for James Harden.
Or transition 3. He stopped dead in his tracks almost. That's self-protection right there. That's a guy who wants to play 45 minutes and knows if he tests that hamstring, that may not happen.
Blake Griffin doing it for him. Doris with the 3. And a timeout called by Mike Budenholzer as they pull to within 6 on a 7-0 run.
If you want to know how limited James Harden is, folks, just take a look at this play. This is savvy by a guy who knows that hamstring's limited. This is normally a transition 3 or a bucket. He's got no choice. Got to pull it back.
What defense is this man playing that he thinks this is going to work? Now see, what happened when they ran a screen and roll with Drew and Giannis? You get a good shot, but they don't rely on that. So like, I don't know what they're being taught, but this defense on KD, this isn't gonna work. Yoink! This is the craziest thing. Here's why I get upset. The Bucks are a very good team. I remember for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the one series we played the Hawks, we were like, they got to be joking with this defense here. Like, they think we're not going to shoot it. I think at the time, we set the record. I think we made like 25 or 33s on them in one game. And we're like, are they serious? They're going to play us like this? Another open shot. You have to switch stuff up.
Has just gone to the locker room after appearing to injure his right hamstring. Now, keep in mind, Harden lost 21 games this season due to a right hamstring injury, including a pair of games late in the season.
Tip dunk and KD get into his bag, find his rhythm, draws the foul. Brooklyn up early.
Steve Nash, twice an MVP, Hall of Fame member, 8-time All-Star. He is loving every minute in the hot seat as a coach. And with a team like this, he knows he's got a lot of options and a lot of weapons.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to play with Steve, and that's just that right there is just, you know, okay, you get beat a little bit, but the timeout and Brad Stevens is going to have a little talk, and you're talking about the fear to beard. Here's a good reason why. Able to dart right down the middle of the lane, get out the way. Brooklyn rolling right now.
Stevens going to his bench. It's Durant on the
Getting into it with hustle plays. Griffin continues with that performance. Great anticipation, great lift for the old fella with the tip dunk, and KD getting to his bag, find his rhythm, draws the foul. Brooklyn up early.
It's the best display of offense we'll probably ever see in this league. You know, we're talking about those three guys, but Joe Harris, who leads the league in three-point percentage, I think for the past couple years, or right up.
2 out of the last 3.
Then you rotate and you're swinging it to Joe. So that's who you're rotating off of, to Kevin, Kyrie, or James. You got Bruce Brown, who makes a world of a difference for this team, doing all the dirty work. You know, he plays the dunker as if he's a 5-man. You got Blake, who's had this resurgence, who's dunking the ball, who's all over the court, playing the 5 for them. I think, you know, when you look at this team offensively, you're not going to stop them. You stop one guy, you get the other 2 going off. And so, and I think their defense will be good enough, because the reality is those other teams have to score as well. And that's not so easy to do. So when you're trying to outscore these guys, and which teams are going to have to do, I can't see it happening.
Second time in Nets playoff history they've ever had 100 through 3 quarters. The first time was game 2 of this series. Kyrie Irving.
The lead. Giannis. Played by Harden. Turnaround jump, no good. Rebound Durant.
And you bail out.
Loose ball, picked up by Irving. Whips it back to Durant.
As he goes up, Antetokounmpo comes in, and he steps right on the foot, and you can see the angle.
The Celtics travel to Brooklyn for Game 5 this Tuesday, June 1st. Tune in to NBC Sports.
For Harden. 1 on the shot clock. Harden fires away.
One time from Jason Tatum.
And a good job by Brad Stevens getting Fournier into the ballgame.
Offensive foul. Marcus Smart draws the charge as Irving picks up his 3rd.
He just set a record for how far he propelled himself on minimal contact.
That wasn't contact. I mean, well, yes, it was. Yeah. My fault. That hand to the chest. But you see that what the Nets.
So Garbage Time has taken over here in the 4th quarter. For most of the 4th quarter.
I think it started in the 2nd quarter.
They didn't realize it, though, at the time. About 3.5 remaining.
And look at this effort from the Weeks. Contesting, not fouling, causing Middleton to miss.
Beautiful move by Irving, and he scored. All for Holiday. And the pass picked off by Holiday. Giannis back the other way. Holiday with the hot hand gives it back. Here's Giannis on the drive and hits.
And just a talk about DeAndre Hunter has not played in this series. Great ball movement and finish. Blake Griffin, who once
once again with the left hand, but just strong.
That's looking to inbound. Jeff Green gets it into Durant. Here is Durant moving on Tucker. He turns, he shoots. Yes! With 1 second remaining. 1 second left.
Like his routine, and interestingly, watching him pregame, he doesn't do it consistently. Sometimes it's 5 dribbles, sometimes it's 6. There's the Brooklyn crowd counting out the second.
I don't think he was the holdup that time. Official Courtney Kirkland appeared to be waiting for something. I'm not sure it was Giannis.
They wait
with him. Back to Brown. Durant has it, fights over, fires a 3. Bang! Kevin Durant from downtown. And the Nets have a 3-point lead with 1:23 remaining.
You know, like he's the best. He's the best player in the world right now, and we gotta beat him.
Well, if he makes this next free throw, it's a 2-possession game for Milwaukee. Durant wants that shot back. 42 they've given, or excuse me, only 42 they've scored here in this game. So give credit to the Nets for making adjustments. And once again, dribble penetration, touching the paint, as Steve Nash talked about in the huddle.
Opportunity. Harden's waiting too long.
Good pressure defense by Milwaukee. Now Durant fires and hits with the shot clock running down. He hits from downtown.
And that's a foul. Yep, that's going to be his 4th. And Durant said something right after that. Now face to face. That appeared to be a security coming in that had the shove there. See, I think it's hard to tell if Tucker's yelling at Irving.
Welcome back to Brooklyn. And yeah, Harden heard y'all. He says that's why I'm the strongest Mark Henry in the paint. Ain't that right, ref? You agree with me. Harden.
That's 5 on Tucker.
Great view right here, as you can see.
Whoa.
Caught him right there in that left eye.
Understanding how to play, making sacrifices. Those are the kind of players you want on your ball club when you're aspiring for a championship.
Kemba in Dallas and win that series, so a lot can and will happen as this series progresses.
It can, but this for Milwaukee just a brutal performance. There's Durant to the rim and hits the reverse and ends up on the floor right by the stanchion. Sparks right back. And call for time.
And Marv, this man, it's not even fair. Handles, great shooting, can finish. Brooklyn, they go hard. They go hard.
And Jeff Green able to secure the turnover and get the ball to that man, Kevin Durant, who has 46. And talk about some.
Tyler Johnson has checked in for the Nets and getting it to Mike James, who's able to drill it.
Body of Kevin Durant allowed him to elevate, knock down the 3.
Chris Middleton looks to answer and does. And the Bucks have found their stroke from downtown. Middleton on the steal. Holiday on the drive. Lopez, long 3. Got it!
As Tucker and Durant get into each other's face. Tucker now yelling at Kyrie Irving.
If you're Tucker, you got to be smart. Okay.
Game has not forced anything. That was right from the start. Durant for 3. And the Nets lead for the first time since Durant using the screen for 3. Yes! 41 points for Kevin Durant, and the Nets have a 1-point lead. Similarities in 3-point shooting also.
And on the weak side, Kevin Durant, beautiful help preventing Giannis for going in for a dunk shot there.
Irving for 3. Whoa! Put down by able to stuff it. So once again, Blake gets the crowd going. 2-second differential. There's Durant for three. Yes.
An improvement. How do they get better every day? Griffin,
Just under 2 to go in this opening quarter. Durant with the pull-up. Yes! And it counts. The foul committed by Tucker. That is his second, and Durant will go to the line.
And just a beautiful play right there. Durant gets to his spot on the baseline, able to elevate, use his length. About handles right here. Kyrie Irving, make you clap like you're in church right there. Just takes his time. Beautiful ball handling, getting to the rim. One of the best.
Played by P.J. Tucker. Now doubled. Durant. Shot was deflected short. Griffin diving on the floor for the ball. Portis trying to tie him up. Let's see what they call here. And Griffin receiving a stand.
For a loose ball, diving there, blue collar desperation. Portis had the ball, but the great effort and intensity from Blake Griffin. And the crowd here, as you said, rewarding him, showing their appreciation for the heart and the hustle of the former All-Star. And I believe a jump ball between Portis and Griffin.
Durant on the outside. Nets lead by 8. Nets lead by 11. Kevin Durant, same spot as Durant. Oh! Cut in the playoffs for James Harden. Harden step back three. Oh yeah!
The rookie's had a good second half of the season. Irving against Fournier. Well defended. Irving gets by him and lays it in. Another move from Kyrie Irving.
It is so, I'm not even going to say difficult.
He was a star, a major star overseas, and he's done a nice job for the Nets. He's not gotten a lot of playing time. Tonight he has. Here's Harris for three. Let's try to hold for a final shot. Irving, Durant for three. Yes. 1 point.
The Celtics, Tatum kicks it out from the paint. Smart, wide open look, short. Harden, leak out. Irving will go up and slam. Touchdown, Harden to Irving.
Although this Nets team, especially Durant, a tough one to defend. Durant on the drive, back to Brown, the floater's up and good.
As a guard your whole life, that has to be a difficult change. He's done a marvelous job.
Nice little fake, layup is good.
That's strictly the offense. Brown setting screens and making plays for himself or his teammates.
Brown floats it up and good.
Setting multiple screens in any one possession, puts it down. That's a tough shot.
Mike James again to Brown. Brown off the glass, banks it home. Beautiful.
Carving out a roll with these Brooklyn Nets. Catches it on the roll.
Performance. Here's Durant to the rim and hits the reverse. And decent the last month or so. Here's Irving curling his way inside. Lost the handle. Giannis on the run. Nice lead pass ahead for Middleton.
And just an incredible sequence there. Great defense, and on the break, making the right decision. The length out here defensively now for Milwaukee.
Harris up front. Harris changed his mind. Irving gets it to the corners. They swing it back to Irving. Banks it home.
I was going to say these two right here. Incredible shot makers.
Giannis pops up with threes. I don't understand that. Is it where you can't tell your star player these are not good shots? The percentage is poor, and it basically stops the team. Little dust up here. That after the step over by Griffin. That is never appreciated. I always think of the Allen Iverson, Tyronn Lue step over in game 1 of a
4. Get into it with Irving. A deep one. Kai 3.
And back comes Antetokounmpo. Pulls it up for 3.
And Giannis had great success in the regular season. Hit 10 3-pointers in the 3 games.
And by Griffin. He's looking to set up a step back. Could not. Now fires for 3 and hits. Third. Marv Albert. Granville. Derek Greenberg. Giannis for 3. Lopez with the rebound and a foul. Forbes with the rebound. Antetokounmpo for 3 and hits it.
I was going to say these two right here. Incredible shot makers.
Giannis pops up for 3.
And that was a throwback dunk right there from Blake.
Giannis for 3. 0 for 3. Rebounded by Middleton, who seemed to be getting going in the final minutes of that first half. Antetokounmpo for 3.
You're all on that sequence.
Loose ball foul on Claxton away from the play. Here's Giannis for 3.
So P.J. Tucker all series has paddled Kevin Durant. Kevin's got 25. Watch these two competitors have a little conversation. Kevin Durant, this is my footwork, my man. You know my work.
Supposed to being aggressive. But I got to say this about the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the World Championship. I really do. But they got to be the dumbest team. They make, between stupid fouls and bad shots, not taking advantage of mismatches.
Can I go there? Because that's where I'm going. Tomorrow will mark 2 years since you initially injured your calf. I know you worked your butt off to get to this point, but did you ever think you'd be this good?
Is that a real question? Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
what you want me to say to that? Of course
Well,
I
I mean,
did.
it's pretty impressive what you've been able to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I mean, that was 2 years ago. I'm looking forward to just getting up tomorrow and going to practice, watching film, and seeing how we can get better. But, you know, I appreciate that. But, you know, that was too long ago.
All right, well, I'll come up with some more real questions for you next time. Thanks, Kevin.
Love.
Mark?
All right.
I just came up short.
Greg Logan with Newsday. James, you played 46, 40, and 53 on that hamstring. Can you just describe what that took on your part, the kind of fortitude it took to get that out like that?
Well, I mean, just it's basically